As I was searching for more manga to read, I came up to finding a manga where the main character has no clue about his origins and powers but is really powerful, which is the #1 spot in this list. So, as I finished this manhwa, I searched for more of these but was unable to find any article or video about this kind of manga. So, I researched and went through a lot of manhwa and decided to make my own video on it for the people like me who could be searching for similar manhwa. And here are my top 10 picks for manhwa where the main character doesn't know about his powers. 10. Gosu. When his master dies, Yang Yong pledges to avenge his teacher at all costs. After training his martial arts skills in seclusion, Gang Yong sets off to hunt down the traitors and make them pay. But when he gets to town, he discovers they're already dead? Well, what's he supposed to do now? This series is pretty good, but it does tend to drag on. Reading the first part, and then reading the second part, I get where the person was going when they were writing it, but why would you add so many sub-characters, that it drags the story on in such a bad way? It ends well, what the journey to get it is impossibly boring. But overall, the story concept is really good, and so is the art style, and the comedy also hits you, which can make this webtoon fun for you. 9. Tokyo Underground. Under Tokyo's underground railway system is a world called Underground, populated by elemental users, people who can manipulate various elements. When the Maiden of Life, Ruri Sarasa, and her bodyguard, gravity user Chelsea Rorek escape to the surface, they take refuge with swordsman Rumina Asagi and his bespectacled best friend Ginosuke Zuzu. During a battle with the flame-using Seiki, Rumina is killed and then resurrected by Ruri. The revived Rumina finds he now has the power to manipulate air, a rare talent amongst the underground people. Realizing Ruri is in danger, Rumina vows to protect her, even if it means going to the underground to rescue her from her eventual captors before she gets sacrificed. I enjoyed this series, but let's face the reality, this is already done before, and better, so don't expect much. This is an average story about the adventure of a more or less average boy pushed forward by his feelings to fight against all the obstacles. Actually, the story isn't so bad, but I get the feeling that I've seen the same things happen to a boy inside the cockpit of a huge robot, wielding a sword or following a dangerous path seeking revenge. So go ahead and spend good time. There is a small dose of humor, cuteness, courage, despair as the main character grows stronger, and defeats overconfident and too talkative enemies. 8. Yinji Shomurin. The main character Shu Yin is a really poor student that loves playing games. One of his friends is a popular student detective that convinces him into helping with a murder case. After viewing the last moments of an old man being held at gunpoint, the scene forces Shu into a virtual reality game, dropping him off at a desert landscape with some pyramids. Shu Yin goes with the flow, and the first thing he sees is a boss sand monster and a quest option. Like any main character, he expects to defeat the boss to win, right? No, it turns out he's the last gravekeeper and he's supposed to protect the treasure against the tomb raiders. That old man? He was his grandfather, and they meet in virtual reality. This manhwa creates a mystery from the starting of the story, which it unveils slowly as the story progresses, which is really fun to read as we experience the unveiling as the main character does. The story represents a classic manhwa heritage from grandfather and overpowered storyline, but is different from rest of the manhwa which follows the same concept. It's definitely a good read, so you must check this manhwa out if you are searching for some really fun mystery read. 7. Black Torch. 17-year-old Jiro Azuma lives a quiet life with his grandfather, utilizing his supernatural ability to speak with animals to befriend and protect them. Both Jiro and his grandfather are descendants of a long-standing shinobi clan, training in combat to keep the art of battle alive within their family. Jiro's life is thrown into upheaval after rescuing a seemingly normal black cat, Ragu, only to discover that the cat is actually a Mononoke, a demonic spirit that has long been at war with mankind. When a hostile Mononoke comes looking for Ragu, Jiro uses his shinobi training to jump to the cat's defense, but immediately suffers a mortal wound. Faced with the decision of whether or not to devour Jiro's fading energy and restore himself to full power, Ragu instead chooses to give his remaining energy to Jiro. Reviving the boy, the transfer also grants him great supernatural powers that complement his own shinobi fighting style. This act is witnessed by Ryosuke Shiba, an officer in the Bureau of Espionage whose job revolves around dispatching aggressive Mononoke. Shiba extends Jiro and his grandfather an offer to join the Bureau's new squad, Black Torch, and help them battle powerful Mononoke who seek to devour innocent people. This manga perfectly fits the genre where the main character doesn't know anything about his power. He later on goes finding about his true strength and exploring his power, which is really fun to experience as a reader. But sadly it got ended leaving only little info on plot, and with 19 chapters compiled into 5 volumes, which is really a loss for us readers. Overall, it's a quite nice mix of shonen and action story, and if you like and enjoy shonen in general, you will definitely love this story. 6. Keikyo Hitman Reborn. The life of Tsuneyoshi no Good Suna Sawada is a complete wreck. Terrible grades, horrible fitness, and a non-existent social life means he has no reason to attend school, especially after discovering that his crush, Kyuko Sasagawa, is already seeing someone. Unbeknownst to him, however, the blood of Jado, the great Vongola I, runs through his veins. Enter Home Tutor Reborn, an infant who claims to be the world's greatest hitman. Under orders from Vongola IX, Reborn has come to train Suna to become a worthy successor to the famous Vongola familia name. Suna, however, refuses, and claims that he will never become a mafia boss. How will the world's greatest hitman react to such opposition? Will he force Suna to adhere, or will he use this unwillingness to his advantage? This is a story of a reluctant successor as he takes on the responsibilities of becoming the underworld's next ruling mafia leader, with the help of his friends and a one-of-a-kind home tutor. I was introduced to the franchise through the anime. When I realized the anime was cancelled, I finished the anime and then moved on to the manga. Every time I finished a chapter, the next one just got even better. I honestly enjoyed every moment of reading this manga. What I liked the most, and the reason why I even started reading it, is because of the genre shift that made Reborn so famous, and it's something really amazing. It really shows you how the story grows and changes from the original light-hearted and quirky gag manga to a darker and more action-based version with great characters and development, which shows some aspect of the main character not knowing his true power. This is a must-read for every shonen and every otaku in general who love manga. This is a straight-up classic and I recommend it to everyone. 5. Ultimate Soldier. Juvenile Rog's father had the strongest fighting spirit, but he betrayed the country, causing Rog and his mother to be bullied and to lose their place. In order to clean up humiliation and change destiny of his family, the teenager broke into the world's fiercest and scariest villain academy and strive against opponents with powerful fighting spirits. Can Rogue get rid of the misery and boundary surrounding his life, or not? This manhwa directly meets the requirements of our search of the manhwa, where the MC doesn't know about his true power. The story shows that the main character is the strongest being in the world of Ultimate Soldier, but that he is unaware of that knowledge, and as the story progresses, many mind-boggling twists occur in the story, which makes it so fun to read. This manhwa is very highly recommended and more people should know about this masterpiece as it is rarely talked about. 4. Nabari no U. Miharu Rakujo is a modern-day Japanese student apathetic to the world around him. One day, Miharu is protected from a ninja by Koichi Aizawa and Tabari Kumohira, who are ninja affiliated with the Banten village. He learns that his body carries the Shinra Banshou, a scroll that holds the most powerful secret art in the ninja world of Nabari. Because the Grey Wolves, a faction associated with Iga village that wants to use the Shinra Banshou for their personal gain, will kill Miharu for the secret art, Miharu cannot return to his normal life. Nabari no U's synopsis might seem like your typical shonen series. A boy main character who only wished for a peaceful life, but he somehow possessed a really great and human power. That is like the basic setting for every shonen manga. As a character-driven story while also being a 2000 shonen action, the cast is initially as you'd expect. Spontaneous with lots of quirks that play off each other well. As the series goes on, the characters become much more grounded and you feel much more for them, and the way that they deal with the many roadblocks that end up in their paths feels increasingly believable in a way that it makes it hard for you to not understand where they're coming from. If you like the character-driven stories and basically do not care about same concepts being used, then it can be sure shot a favorite manga of yours. 3. Kaiju number 8. In Japan, monsters known as kaiju regularly attack the populace, with the Japanese Defense Force tasked with killing them. After their town was destroyed by kaiju when they were children, childhood friends Kafka Hibino and Mina Ashro both vowed to become members of the Defense Force. Mina has become famous as commander of the Defense Force's 3rd unit, but Kafka has failed the examination numerous times and is a member of the cleanup crew, Monster Sweeper Incorporated, whose job it is to dispose of the monsters' dead bodies after battle. After a small talking monster flies into his body via his mouth, Kafka gains the ability to turn into a monster himself, which gets dubbed Kaiju number 8 by the Defense Force. Kafka remains fully cognizant while in the form, but gains superhuman strength, and becomes the first monster to escape the Defense Force. This series is a really fun read which I really enjoyed, especially. The art is the major thing that hit me. The story doesn't start really good and characters are also not too connected with you at the beginning, but as the story progresses, the development on the characters creates an enjoying atmosphere and makes it really fun read. The factor that the main character doesn't know about his powers and the mystery behind it make it really interesting as well. 2. The Breaker. Yi Xiayun Shi Wun's everyday life at Nine Dragons High School, which consists of beatings from fellow student Ho Chang and his gang, is far from ideal. But one day, a mysterious man named Han Chun-woo spots one of these beatings and instead of offering support, brands Xiayun a coward for refusing to fight back, adding insult to injury. To Xiayun's surprise, he finds out that Chun-woo is the new substitute English teacher at his school. Tired of the daily abuse, Xiayun decides to enroll at a martial arts academy to learn how to defend himself. On the way there, he stumbles upon Chun-woo in a predicament, cornered in an alley by a group of angry men. Provoked, Chun-woo suddenly dispatches them using martial arts techniques, which Xiayun covertly records. Later, he uses this recording to blackmail Chun-woo into teaching him to defend himself. Reluctantly, Chun-woo agrees, and Xiayun is soon thrust into the world of martial arts, known as Muram. However, Xiayun is naive and unaware of his master's shady past and the unseen underbelly of society. How will Chun-woo manage to teach Xiayun and help him survive in the world of Muram? This manhwa is one of my favorite reads that I have read till now. This manhwa portrays the basic shonen aspects but creates a different vibe which makes it really amazing. The art and the story makes the manhwa one of the best in its field, and the mystery aspect, which gets unveiled as we progress in the story, makes it really hype. As I said, this is one of my favorite manhwa, so I would definitely recommend this to everybody who love martial arts and overpowered teacher in manhwa and manga in general. 1. Peerless Dad. Ga Jong-no is a strong, dedicated, and humble man, with much respect for the martial arts. After the death of his lovely wife, this muscle for hire just wants an easy job that allows him to be a good father to his 3 little babies. He's even happy to pull guard duty and fend off amateur fighters if it means he can return home safely each night. But when a creepy cult starts stealing children from the city, Ga Jong must step up to the challenge and discover his true warrior potential. One martial artist's amazing journey through fatherhood and battles. This is the manhwa that brought the whole concept of this video. The main character is a really dumb and innocent dad with 3 kids who would be trained to death by his master of martial arts, which he doesn't even have a clue about. This mystery about his origin and his true powers makes this manhwa a fantastic, enjoyable read. In addition to that, the art and the character development makes this manhwa even more fun to read. So, this is it for this video. Tell me what other type of content you would like to see in the future and what could be improved in the videos that I make in the comments below the like button. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, which keeps me motivated to work and create more. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.